Today I'm going to be fitting the universal Ulmer Lambretta Series 3 front crash bar to my GP300. Now there is already a video on my site showing this being fitted to the GP125, but with the liquid cooled models like the 300 and the 125 LC, there is a difference because we have to deal with the cowling on the radiator. So as you can see with the wing nut here, to make the original brackets tighten up on the Royal Alloy, you need to pack out the stem, which isn't threaded long enough to tighten up. This is the fitting that's supplied with the universal crash bars. This one's been cut down so that you can pull it further towards the leg shields on the Royal Alloy. I've tried, and so has the owner of this particular one, to extend this thread, and it's almost impossill. So the alteration that I made to overcome this was to cut the bracket off with a grinder and add a 6mm stainless steel threaded bar. Now you can either braze this on or get somebody to stainless steel weld it. But what this does, it allows you to pull the crash bars fully up to the leg shield and makes a much neater finish, which is what we'll show later in the video. The first thing we need to do is to take the cowling off the radiator. Now this is held on with 4 Allen headed bolts. I've taken the 2 off the other side and we'll just now take these 2 out. The idea is to stop the cover on the radiator fouling with the brackets for the bars. So we'll just take those 2 out there and the cover should just drop away, which as you can see it does, and that's your cover. So what we have to do is we have to drop the radiator. Now I put some towels here, some old towels, because I don't want the fan there, which is on the bottom, or the fins to be damaged. So to do this we have to take 4 bolts out. I've already removed the 2 on the opposite side again, and I'll just take these 2 out. Again, they have a nut on the back, so it's not a captive bolt, and I've just dropped the nut there. But we'll pull that one out, and then we'll take this one here, and then we should, that's tight, there we go, we should just be able to drop the radiator down. Now that nut's just appeared there, which is very good of it, and we'll just take this one out. So that's the 4 nuts and bolts. Get that one, and the radiator should now just lower down like so. Now we're going to take these 2 outside runners off, but there is an issue with that because one of the screws that holds the runner in is actually blocked by this bolt here, which holds the bodywork to the frame. So I'm going to take that one out while we're down here as well. Now I've already done this on the other side, and this is just so we can access screws that hold the floor runners in place. I'm going to remove the screws at the end, both ends of the runners, or we are if we can get them washed that tight. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's better. So there's one either end on these nice chrome end caps. So it's not the screwdriver, it's this nut on the front side of the leg shields there. So I've slackened that off, and we should now just be able to turn this out, which we can. So I think the other end is a captive nut. This one is obviously on the outside of the leg shields there, and we'll just take that off. Now having done that, we need to undo two screw fixings underneath which hold the centre of the foot strip in place. So what I've done is I've temporarily put these fixings in, I've tightened them up finger tight, and I've positioned the two rubber socket heads on the leg shields to make sure that we're more or less right. What you will notice with the universal bars is this doesn't sit quite in the middle because it's adjustable, so it depends on the width of your scooter. Now what we have to do is drill a couple of holes in the floorboards, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to drill a pilot hole first. So I've actually used a 6mm in there, which should give me a nice tight fit, and you'll see the bolt sits nicely there. But what we also need to do is we need to relieve some of this rubber, as is on my other video, with a modelling knife so that it can sit on top of this screw. So here you can see on the floor runner I've cut out the rubber underneath, making sure that we don't affect the top, so that when it sits on top of the screw it can do so like that, and so that it will sit nicely on the floor. Now what I've done here is I've shortened the bracket thread now. I've put a nut and a washer on there, and I've capped it off with a domed chrome nut, which I've backed up against the fixing nut. And I think that's a lot more pleasing to the eye than the other option that was available originally. Well, I've now reassembled everything, and if we look underneath, I've managed to put the radiator cover back on without any cutting or alteration to it, which I was a little bit surprised about, but it fit into place and all the bolts fitted nicely. Well, that's that job finished now, and as you can see the crash bars look very good. They're very firmly fixed, and just think it makes the job look great. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I look forward to seeing you next time.